Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so that YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. And if you guys could share my videos and share my channel, I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started today is going to be Tuesday, March 7th. Sorry I haven't been on for the last couple of days. I've been a little bit sick and pretty tired. But I'm still going to keep on trying to make videos. There's going to be two videos that are going to be released tonight. This one, and then right after I get done filming this and posting it, I'm going to be filming the next one, and that one's going to be solely on the new ruling that just came out yesterday from Judge Torres on the Ripple versus the SEC case. So please make sure you guys tune into that video as well as this one, because this one's going to have a bunch of the information that's been happening in the crypto space and also tech in the last couple of days. So both videos are going to be jam-packed full of updates. I'm going to talk a little bit faster, one, to try to get through the videos a little bit quicker so you guys don't spend so much time watching the videos. So I'll roll through the information. If you guys need to, you guys can replay it or just, rewind 30 seconds. But let's get started. Make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end. We're going to talk about some Hedera information and some updates about the Hedera network. That was pretty interesting. Getting started, the total market cap for all cryptocurrencies is $1,010 billion. This is a 1.66% decrease on the day. Realistically, we're about a 6% decrease in the past couple days, 4 to 6%. That is due to just instability right now in markets. People don't know what's going to happen with the CPI report that's going to be coming out on March 14th. I do say that report being a negative light, so I do see crypto dropping below, unfortunately, this $1 trillion market cap by March 14th. Because I do think that interest rates are going to rise. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $21,967. Ethereum is trading at $1,552. And XRP is trading at 37.62 cents. Now, XRP had a little bit of a decoupling in the past 2 days where the rest of the market is dropping and dropping fast. XRP has kind of been going up or staying stagnant, and that's due to the the ruling that came down from Judge Torres yesterday. Getting into our biggest gainers on the day, though, we really don't really have any big gainers on the day. If we just refresh this really quick, CFX is going to be up 3.5%, XRP is going to be up 1.1%, and the rest are in red. Biggest losers on the day. Um, VMix is down 10.9%, 9.6% is AGIX, 10.5% is Stacks, 11.4% is OKB. One thing that I really like, is when these coins do drop, and they can still continue to drop again. I try to be as transparent as possible. You guys can still DCA into these coins. Like VChain right now is down. What was it, down 7%? Right now it's trading at 2.27 cents. This is a coin that I'm probably going to dollar cost average into some more. I do like this project for solving the supply chain crisis. I think it's a great company and a great investment. No financial advice. But this is the one that I'm going to dollar cost average into. VChain, HBAR, and then Stellar Lumens are going to be the three coins that I'm going to DCA into. That I want to get a little bit more. And I might buy some more XRP tokens because it seems like the lawsuit's going very well. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, celebrating Bitcoin reaching $111 all-time high back in 2013. So you guys probably can't hear this, so I'm just going to mute it anyway because I can hear it. But he says basically watching history be made. There's a bunch of Bitcoin that were bought at $111. This was the all-time high back in 2013. Back in 2011, you could have got it for roughly 30 cents, 25 to 30, maybe even 40 cents. So it jumped from that high or for that low of a price to $111 in 2 years. And we know that right now Bitcoin's trading just over $21,000, just shy of 22,000. So it's just crazy to see where it was and then where it is now, and then where's the possibility of where it can go. Some people are saying easily over 100,000. Some people are saying $1 million per coin. Me, I don't think it's going to go to $1 million per coin, but I do see, again, no financial advice, that it does reach all-time highs again. But there is a chance that absolutely it cannot reach all-time high, and that's one of the risks that investors have to take and realize. Chat GPT CEO says artificial intelligence will break capitalism, and I 100% agree with this. As soon as artificial intelligence starts to take over, your big companies that have uh, artificial intelligence will start utilizing it and basically taking over jobs. If you guys can figure out how to do engineering, you guys will get rid of engineers. If you guys figure out computer programming with artificial intelligence, computer programmers will go away, cybersecurity will go away, and then it'll be a monopoly. And we just have to trust the individuals who are running these companies. Say, hey, I trust you. And as of right now, from what we've seen, especially with our federal government recently, we cannot trust anybody these days. Uh, El Salvador's president right here says making Bitcoin a legal tender increased tourism by 95%. Here's the interview where he sits down and talks about it. If you guys want to, again, all of this stuff will be in the comments. I want to just roll through these as quick as I can so you guys can be up to date. Crypto exchange. Bybit partners with MasterCard to launch a debit card, even though MasterCard and PayPal, and I believe Visa as well, were suspending their crypto startups. Um, Especially with their programs until regulation in the United States happens. So this one was kind of interesting. PORCH Mint, one of the largest gold refineries in the world, sold up to $9 billion of diluted gold in China. That was really interesting. So if you guys are gold buyers, this is one to be wary about. And a lot of people say, like, buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. You guys keep buying gold, yeah, over time gold has, gone up and it will still hold its value. But it's the same thing that you guys can say with cryptocurrency. It's just picking and choosing which one you think is going to be around in the next 100 years, 200 years. And in my opinion, I just need it to be around for 5, maybe 10 years. I do think that cryptocurrency will be around for a while. It's definitely going to change the financial markets. And it's one that I have highly invested into just because I do believe in cryptocurrency. But gold is a good buy. A lot of people buy jewelry and stuff like that. So it does hold its value for that reason. And it's been around forever. I mean, since the pharaohs and even probably before that, gold's just been what everyone wants. The SEC files emergency action against Miami investor advisor BK Coin for $100 million in crypto fraud scheme. I do believe that anyone that does any type of fraud in cryptocurrency definitely deserves the full extent of the law. Sucks that it's coming from the SEC, though, because they're all a bunch of pieces of shit. Um, and I say that strongly just because everything that's been happening, especially with the Ripple versus the SEC case, that's still taken 2.5 years of investor protection, is just complete BS. Moving on, though, Kraken chief legal officer says the exchange plans to launch its own bank. And it's really funny that the SEC now sued Kraken for its staking services, and then now the legal officer says that it plans to launch its own bank after settling with the SEC. In my opinion, this is all planned. They've all had these backroom talks, and we need to get this stuff actually shown and brought to light. So I want you guys to be aware of this. Eventually, I do believe that places and exchanges like Binance.us, Coinbase, Uphold, even also, all of them are going to try to become their own banks. And they're going to try to push out the old financial system with like JP Morgan, and all those other, institutions and banks and stuff like that, Wells Fargo. All of them are going to be obsolete if crypto does take over. And this is one way that they're starting. Brazil Central Bank launches experimental central bank digital currency. That's really interesting. It's really popular also, especially because it's just more use case for crypto. Justin, 100% nuclear powered Bitcoin mining facility launches in Pennsylvania. And I do agree that nuclear power is probably the one of the cleanest and most effective renewable energy sources. As long as the factory does not overheat, we won't have a Chernobyl incident, and I do believe nuclear energy will eventually take over. It's better than solar, it's better than hydroelectric power or wind turbines. All of those are good renewable resources, but they do cause a lot of pollution also. They're not all 100% effective because as soon as the technology starts to wear down, where do they throw it? How much damage actually gets caused to the environment to extract all of the materials to create that stuff? Nuclear power, in my opinion, will last for a while. Um, the SEC is increasing its staff to investigate and prosecute crypto firms. Oh, I wonder why. Where are they getting all of this money to increase their staff? Oh, that's right, from all of the settlements that they're getting going after the small fish in the sea, and then when they go after the big fish like Ripple, they have to spend a bunch of our taxpayer dollars into doing this. Ethereum network surpasses 1.9 billion transactions, Please remember this for the end of the video because we're going to talk about that. Crypto.coms adds Apple Pay support for Visa cards in Brazil. This is just, again, more use case. You have a central bank digital currency, and then now adding Apple Pay support for Visa cards in Brazil. I think eventually when crypto starts partnering with a bunch of these other big banks and stuff like that, it's just going to be common throughout the world, not just in the United States or other countries. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says inflation progress is likely to be bumpy. Sorry. And I 100% agree with this. We need to figure out what's going on with inflation. Again, the CPI report comes out March 14th. I do see stocks and crypto going down at least minimum 10% in the next 7 days, possibly up to 20 to 40%. I don't think we're going to go past 40% drop. Um, so if you guys can't prepare for a possible loss, especially do your guys' own research because it's just my own opinion. I'm just going to wait out the storm. If it does drop drastically, I'm just going to DCA back into the market. Especially, it's already at low prices, in my opinion. If it drops even lower, I'm just going to continually add money and then ride it all back up when it eventually goes up. Again, no financial advice. Fed Jerome Powell warned interest rates are likely to rise higher than previously expected. And this is what I've been talking about for the last couple of videos over the past 2 weeks. I do see at least a 6% inflation number. We'll see exactly what happens on March 14th. Jerome Powell says many unusual factors are affecting inflation and don't know how this is going to play out. And it's just kind of hilarious that you have the Fed chair still does not know what they're going to do yet. I mean, it's your job. What else are you doing in your guys' spare time? You know, you guys are coming out with all these stupid scenarios on how you're going to screw over the American people, how you continually did. Um, Handing out all of this free money and basically turning the money printers on and causing the inflation, and then now you want to bring it down by hurting the American public. Great job, government. You guys do amazing work. Missouri passes a bill to protect crypto and Bitcoin mining rights. We've already talked about that one. Jerome Powell says the only way to is for Congress is to raise the debt ceiling. I don't believe we need to keep raising the debt ceiling. This is just, excuse after excuse after excuse. This one right here, Elon Musk, a bunch of people hate this guy, but he does great things. Exposing what was going on with COVID, especially with the super elite that were in charge of all of these crypto firms, or not crypto firms, sorry, technology firms, social media platforms, Twitter, Meta, YouTube, all of them are, 100% to blame. And right here, Twitter suspends 800,000 accounts that distributed child sexual abuse material in February. This is great. Twitter is a great place to share information and knowledge and just basically talk amongst individuals, share ideas. One thing that it should not be used for is anything child related. It should not be used to promote violence, murders and stuff like that. You can easily access all of this stuff. It's just ridiculous. So accounts need to start being suspended. We need to start cleaning up our space for our children. And this is a great thing. So congrats, Elon, and the Twitter employees that are doing this. You guys are doing a great job. And I do see more eventually, to follow. Come March and by the end of the year, I think we're gonna. It's sad. We're gonna hit over 2 million accounts at least minimum that are going to be banned. And I hope these people are charged in the court of law. Elon Musk says it's possible for Twitter to become the biggest financial institution in the world. I disagree with this. I do like Elon, but I disagree. I think Twitter needs to remain a social media platform. I do not believe that it needs to be the biggest financial institution in the world. It's not a bank. It's not a private equity firm. It's not trying to basically get people's investments. So it needs to stay away from that and just keep doing what it's doing. Binance US gains court approval to acquire bankrupt crypto lender Voyager Digital Assets for $1 billion. And we're going to talk about this later on in the video. But it's just kind of interesting that, that you guys have, Voyager go bankrupt and then Binance buys all of their assets for $1 billion. Like, where is that money officially going? Is it going back to the people who had their assets in Voyager? Is that where that one is that 1 billion going, or where is it actually going? This one was really interesting right here from Paul. So this happened today. First test flight of the world's biggest hydrogen fuel cell airliner powered by green hydrogen. it's been a long, epic day. More deets tomorrow, and Jeremy Hogan is the reason why I was able to see this, because I follow him and I do not follow Paul, unfortunately. But this is really interesting to me. If we can figure out how to harness hydrogen power, uh, it's only up in what's going to happen with technology wise. As of right now, we're using solar power to basically you have these electric vehicles. They're not really great yet, but if we can harness hydrogen and stuff like that, and figure out how to basically run things off of water. Water's through the water cycle, it's endless supply. Especially if we can figure out how to take away the salt from the salt water in the ocean, this is going to be really interesting and crazy to see. So this was a cool, like, epic feat for them, and here's just a quick video of that being done. It's really awesome, really interesting. And this is where, if you guys get into companies like this, and especially if these kind of planes take over airlines, that's where your guys' money is going to be made. uh Kerry Lake ends up saying, "I will never stop fighting. I can promise you that." So Arizona Supreme Court gives Kerry Lake incredible news. I'll leave this article for you guys to read. In my opinion, I do not believe it was as credible as everyone else does, especially the way that this article makes it seem. But it basically just grants basically a super approval, so it's a speedier process for things to get done and looked at. Especially after that individual came in front of the House Oversight Committee and talked about how Katie Hobbs was in cahoots with the cartel. This one was also interesting. Dr. Fossey faces possible prosecution and jail time over allegations of misleading the American public on COVID-19 origins. 100% needs to investigated, been put in front of Congress, and if he cannot answer questions, definitely needs to be prosecuted in front of everyone. Needs to be the face of the trial. We have these celebrity like trials. The last one with Alex Murdo, or I think that's who it was, Murdoff, however you say it, the dad who ends up killing his wife and child, and basically that was shown publicly. This is the stuff that we need to see publicly. We don't need to see these stupid prosecutions play out on TV. We need to see the real deal cases that need to be brought up. Why didn't we see Epstein's case all over the news? What was going on during that? Oh, was it the Johnny Depp case, especially with Maxwell and stuff like that? That's the stuff that we don't see. We see, the stupid celebrity trial cases and stuff like that. So this one needs to be put in front of the public, and the public's eyes need to be seen. Right here, breaking. Andrei Butukov, the scientist who created the first COVID vaccine, was just found strangled to death in his apartment. Was he about to reveal the truth? And that's kind of interesting to me. If this is, crazy, the guy that created the COVID vaccines basically dead now. Why? What happened to him? Strangled to death in his apartment. Is this 100% accurate? Was there any foul play in this? Only time's going to tell when more information gets released. UFC fighter calls out Jimmy Kimmel and says until the release the flight logs, Kimmel, Hollywood, and mainstream media are pedophiles. So just going after and talking about what we just talked about with Twitter, 100% agree with this. The media and celebrities are 100% at fault for this. And it just blows my mind. Where I have a one, where is it at? I have like an Epstein. I must have deleted it, but they talk about how Epstein and stuff like that. Those flight logs need to be released. Who in their right mind is on that flight log? That is in cahoots with what was going on. Epstein's no longer here. Why isn't the Epstein case being released to the public? Who are they trying to protect? Sorry for the little rambling on that one. This one was really interesting right here. So this guy Crypto Bull says this is bad for XRP and Ripple. In my opinion, I actually now believe that Judge Torres will rule in favor in the SEC, and we'll have to wait until the case goes to the Supreme Court. Okay, sorry. So here it is right here. This is the Epstein thing that I was talking about. I have them in order. People are reading the entirety wrong. People read that Judge Torres dismissed the case versus the two guards who falsified records related to the Epstein, and they take a crazy leap and say Judge Torres is part of the deep state. So right here, we know that Judge Torres is in this case where she dismissed the case against these two guards. But officially, she didn't actually dismiss the case against the two guards. They actually had a plea deal. So dismiss the case on the plea deal, and that the guards completed deferred prosecution. Here's the article down below if you guys want to read it. We don't have a lot of time left. The national debt took over 200 years to accumulate. This debt was, and 25% of this debt was added by the last administration. This is the White House just deflecting, 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 deny, deny, deny. Joshua Jake says 2 trillion does nothing for our economy, and it wasn't an accomplishment. With interest rates and approaching the 5.5%, 2 trillion doesn't even cover the interest the US has to pay back on its own debt in the next 2 years. And I 100% agree with this, because they're saying that they're cutting the deficit by this, and the budget will be cut another 2 trillion over the next 10 years. The interest is going to be ridiculous on what we're going to have to pay back. Raising the debt ceiling, which Jerome Powell wants to do, is not going to solve any problems. Did you guys buy Bitcoin under 20K? So this is just for reference. A lot of people, when Bitcoin, especially like right now, people are like, no, crypto's dead. But as crypto was rising, we had a bunch of individuals lose a lot of money because they were all in line to buy the next big thing. You want to get in? No, again, no financial advice when things are not being talked about. Um, Looking for an expert of hiding money for lawyers for a video for educational purposes. Anyone have any enterprise in the area? Please send me a DM. Any info will be and remain anonymous. Jeremy Hogan says, send in a financial discovery response back to a lawyer with 10 $100 bills, and there is no step two. This was really just like kind of like a funny remark, because we're going to talk about this in the XRP case. This one was really interesting right here. They talk about the global reset. I would highly encourage you guys watch that. This one is really funny because Gary Gensler responds to Brad Garlinghouse's CEO of with not regulating. And in this video, Gary Gensler basically says, according to this, we talked about Brad Garlinghouse and, any crypto company or any company in general that does any ICOs, or basically when they raise money for their business through selling part of their company, is basically a security. And we know this, but they haven't come out with any clear rules, guidelines, and regulations based on this. So in my opinion, he's just an absolute idiot. Anytime you build something and raise money for it does not mean it's always a security. We have to follow the Howey test, and if there's no really any law on what's going on, how can you say that it's considered a security and especially because Ripple, a company, went to the SEC several times and said, are we operating as a security? Yes or no? No response. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. They have not still been able to after 2 years. They have another case in California where the SEC went in and tried to throw the case out, saying that that the SEC officially hasn't come up with a clear stance yet. So this case should not go to trial yet because we still need more time. And it's like, you've had how many years? You've been in this lawsuit with Ripple. You would think that you would have come up with some sort of regulatory clarity in the markets, especially for digital assets, especially if the federal government and the House of Representatives and the Senate is asking you to do that. Do your job. This one, I try to be super transparent. So along with the raising interest rates, with the CPI report that's going to be coming out, that's going to be really bad. The interest rates that are going to be rising. A lot of people don't really know about Mt. Gox. So a lot of people invested in Bitcoin when it was about $800. In 2014, they suspended withdrawals. When they suspended those withdrawals, no one was able to access these accounts and pull out their money. Now, Bitcoin was trading at $22,408 on March 6th. So a lot of these individuals who had their coins locked up on this exchange lending platform are now going to get all of that money back. So this is $3 billion unlocked coming in like the coming weeks, in my opinion. Not everyone's going to sell theirs. How much is going to be sold off? Obviously, if you guys got into Bitcoin at $800 and right now it's 21,900 something dollars, you're probably going to sell off a little bit. So here's an article that will explain what Mt. Gox is. It was a Tokyo-based crypto exchange that operated between 2010 and 2014. So you guys can read through that. This one was really interesting. So Digital Perspectives wanted to point this out. So these are the donor committees. So Senator Loomis, care to comment on your top donor in 2022? How much influence on your proposed bill did Multicap have? So he proposed a bill basically about cryptocurrency. You guys can look that up. But Multicoin and Anderson Horowitz are the two. So when I looked up Multicoin Capital, the hedge fund, they lost 91.4% of their investors' monies last year. lost 91.4%. That's ridiculous. And they basically donated some money to try to basically figure it out so they can get some of this back, or come up with clear guidelines so that basically when FTX officially starts back up, once investors' money comes back into the markets, probably multi coin capital is going to be getting that money. It's not going to be going back to the individuals who lost their money, like me and you. If you guys buy cryptocurrency off an exchange, if you guys invested in this multi-coin capital, you would be getting some money back through this bill, in my opinion. I haven't read through the entire bill, but they kind of just push things in. And then Anderson Horowitz loses billions of dollars but remains faithful to crypto. I agree. You lost billions of dollars. Congrats. You're an idiot. You got in at a terrible time. But I do remain faithful with crypto. I do agree with this. So, these two individuals and companies invested billions and billions of dollars into these, people in Congress to write these fraudulent bills and stuff like that are only going to benefit themselves. We need to stop having these companies be able to influence our politicians the way that they do and have that drastic impact. These politicians are supposed to be here for us, not be here for these companies. Moving on, though, thousands of people across the U.S., we've talked about this, have already signed up for the Crypto 335. This is kind of cool because Coinbase did another another survey. Now, depending on how many people were actually in the survey, I disagreed with the last survey that they came out with. But two out of three Americans, so 66.67% of Americans, think the financial system is overdue for an overhaul. It's time to update the system. And I agree with this. We need to cut out the middleman. We need to stop paying and relying on these banks so much to hold our money and distribute our assets. Brian Armstrong, he is the CEO of Coinbase. He says right here, as crypto holders, we need to elect representatives who will fight for our interests and help ensure that this technology will benefit humanity. Crypto owners can be the most powerful constituents, but only if they are organized. And I agree. Sign up for Crypto 435 for this. The last thing that we're going to talk about is Hedera. So they are excited to launch the D-Sign. It's a digital document signing solution that helps businesses to conduct quicker and in more environmental friendly and cost-effective ways. I did watch a video on this, though, about an individual who did own a house that he built after buying property. And basically all somebody did was hacked his signature. They digitally signed for it and sold that person's house. They had to go to court for it, and basically prove that they bought the house and that they didn't actually sell the house to a random person. So it'd be like me going online, stealing somebody's identity really quick, selling their house from underneath them without them realizing it, profiting that money, and then the person finding out when the movers show up to have that new couple move into your house, and then you say, hey, this is my house, I live here, I didn't sell it. So that was really interesting. So as long as we can figure out and remain faithful, and as a company, you guys actually do vet your guys' signatures, that's the only way I can see this being successful. Sustainable transformation and carbon emissions, Davos 2023. I don't like Davos. I don't like the World Economic Forums, but Hedera is a part of it, and they are going to change the landscape of cryptocurrency. Hedera was at ETH Denver. So they're showing up to other cryptocurrency conferences. They have a lot of money and they're trying to spread their awareness for the Hedera network. And I think that is a great way for them to do it. And especially showing up to competitors in the crypto space and just showing what that they can do. I think that's really important. The last thing that we're going to talk about, we talked about how Ethereum network surpasses 1.9 billion transactions. This is a little Ethereum guy right here. And Hedera says, it's okay, buddy. We've processed over almost 5 trillion transactions. So this is the little child. This is the adult, and this is what's going to change the financial systems. Again, thank you guys for your guys' time. Watch the next video about the Ripple versus the SEC case with Judge Torres ruling. If you guys can't invest with the big dog, stay on the porch. Have a good one.